Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadra Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Yes, I'll share the screen for the song. This is a song written by Narottama Das Thakur. Have you heard about Narottama Das Thakur? You can raise your hand. Anybody has heard? Yes, Rishi had heard. I think so Rishi has already gone to ISKCON temple. No? Rishi? Yes. Okay, I'll share the screen. If you can see, please let me know. Okay, have you heard this song before? Anybody? Gauranga Bolite Habe. Okay, it's a very nice song saying about the pure devotional love for Krishna and how merciful he is, and praying to the Goswamis of Vrindavan to give shelter at their lotus feet. Okay, yes, the song is written by Narottama Das Thakur, so we are going to repeat what he told. Gauranga bolite habe Ulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite Nayane bhave neera Gauranga bolite habe Ulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite Nayane bhave neera Araka benita chande Karuna be Samsara basala mora Kabe tuchahabe Vishaya chariya kabe Shuddha hobe mana Kabe hamahe rabo Shri Vrindavana Rupara gunata pade Koi beakuti Kabe hamahe rabo Se jugala priti Rupara gunata pade Koi beakuti Kabe ham bujahabo Se jugala priti Rupara gunata pade Rahu mora asha Prarthana koro ye sada Narottama dasa Rupara gunata pade Rahu mora asha Prarthana koro e sada Narottama dasa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So let's see the meaning of this song. Okay, yes. Okay. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira. Hari Hari bolite nayane babe neera. When will that opportune moment come to me when there will be shivering of the body as soon as I chant the Gauranga's name? And after the shivering, while chanting the Hare Krishna, when will there be a tears down from my eyes? When will that day come when the Lord Nityananda's causeless mercy is bestowed upon me so that my desire for the material enjoyment becomes insignificant? When my mind is completely purified, being freed from the material anxiety and desires, I shall be able to understand the Vrindavana and the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. Then my spiritual life will be successful. Why shall I be very eager to study the books left by the six Goswamis? One has to learn the conjugal loving affairs of Radha Krishna through the teachings of these six Goswamis. Narottama Dasa always wishes to understand this conjugal love under the direction of the six Goswamis. So the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, the Rupa Raghunatha, the Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, and Gopala Bhatta Goswami. These are the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, you can see the six Goswami Samadhis over there. So they gave the they gave the philosophy of Krishna consciousness through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis came and they gave the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all of that. So with their mercy, we can actually understand more about the Lord. That means they speak about the bhakti. How today's the chapter of bhakti, right? So they actually speak more and detail. So we are not that experts to understand, but then we try to appreciate their knowledge, what they had, so that we can get some mercy from them. Okay, so today we are going to learn about the bhakti yoga. In the previous chapter, what did Krishna show? Anybody can unmute and tell. Yes,
Vishwarupa Darshan.
Yes, correct, Sairaj. Vishwarupa Darshana, right? So what did Arjuna see, when Arjuna saw Vishwarupa Darshana? What was his feelings? Was he happy? Was he sad? What kind of a feeling he told to Krishna? What was the feeling of uh, Arjuna when he saw the Vishwarupa? Yes, he was disturbed. Very good. Sairaj Prabhuji will be good. Yes, he was.
He was just horrified at looking at the thousands of arms and the mouth and bellies and
fire coming out from the mouth, just like that.
Yes, correct. He was horrified, he was fearful, disturbed, right? So many emotions were going in Arjuna's mind, and his body was shivering, right? All the symptoms he told yesterday, and even Sanjaya told about the symptoms what Arjuna was feeling, right? That was the thing. And ultimately, what did Krishna tell? What did Krishna tell after showing Vishwarupa? Which Rupa he showed next? What was the desire of Arjuna after seeing Vishwarupa? Which was the next one? He showed three forms. No, one is Vishwarupa. What is the second one? Yes, four-handed form. Yes, second was Narayan. Good. And after that, which was the original form Krishna showed? He told, this is my original form. Which is it? Which form is that? Yes, Shamasundara, two-armed form. Like human-like form, right? Krishna told, this is my human-like form, Arjuna. So, yes, human-like form was beautiful, right? Uh, for Arjuna. Yes. So ultimately, Krishna told how they can approach Krishna, how they can see this 200 form. Is it easy to see 200 form? Is it easy to see 200 form? You can unmute and tell. Akshada, is it easy to see the 200 form of Krishna? Harshita, is it easy to see 200 form of Krishna? What should we do? No. Then by which method Krishna told we can see him in 200 form?
No, Mataji.
Which method? Title of this next chapter is the method of which we can see the Krishna's 200 form. That's Bhakti Yoga, right? He's told only Bhajante Mam. By only devotional service, you can see Krishna in 200 form, right? To see Vishwarupa, we used, what did Arjuna use? Divya Chakshu, the divine eyes. But to see 200 form of Krishna, Krishna tells what Arjuna was seeing, the 200 form. For that, we need the pure devotional service, right? The pure devotion, right? That is what needed to see the Krishna. Even Brahma and Shiva are not eligible to see that form. So Krishna is like, this is the form. Okay, so 12th chapter is going to say more about Bhakti Yoga, and first it compares with the impersonal form of Krishna, right? There are people who says God is impersonal, he does not have any personality. You can imagine whatever uh, thing you can imagine. So some people, some gurus are there, they tell that there is no form for the Lord as such. You can imagine, even a man imagines a God with four-handed form. So a buffalo can also imagine a God, similar kind of animal with four horns. Some people are there. Just imagine. But then Krishna, what does he tell? He tells such people are rascals who think, in Prabhupada's language, if we want to tell, Prabhupada tells they are rascals who think Krishna can be matched in any form. Krishna is in two-handed form with Shama Sundara, with a flute and the peacock feather on his head. So that's how Krishna's form is. You can't imagine. So that's what Krishna is going to compare personalist and impersonalist, because Arjuna is going to ask. And then he tells what is the most important and what is the most easiest way, personalist or impersonal. Personalists are the devotees and impersonalists are the people who think Krishna has no form. Okay, so then after comparing and after saying that what is the personalist form, then he is going to tell about the stages in bhakti. There are so many stages in bhakti, so let's see which stage we are in. Okay, then the qualities of endear one in the Lord Krishna. So one who is very dear to Lord Krishna, what are his qualities? Let's see that. And how can we get that quality so that we can become dear to Krishna? Okay, so Krishna, now Arjuna, after seeing Vishwarupa. Why is Arjuna asking about the impersonal form again? Why is Arjuna asking the impersonal form after seeing Vishwarupa? What was Vishwarupa? Was Vishwarupa a permanent form of Krishna or a temporary form of Krishna? Vishwarupa was a temporary or permanent form? Yes, it was a temporary form for some time, right? Arjuna did not really desire. He just told, you show me your energies. So Krishna showed for some time. And then he came to which is a permanent form of Krishna, which was the last form that was permanent. The two-handed form was the permanent form of Krishna. He just took the Vishwarupa so that he can show what he is. So that was a temporary form. That does not mean Krishna is not Vishwarupa. Krishna is Vishwarupa, but then it is for temporary purpose, right? You can't worship Krishna in the Vishwarupa form. You can worship Krishna in the Krishna's form, the two-handed form, right? That's the difference. So Arjuna is going to ask about this, the impersonalist, because impersonalists are attracted towards the Vishwarupa, not the personal form of Krishna. Why? In Vishwarupa, it's like you are not seeing the personal form of Krishna. Everywhere Krishna is pervaded, right? Even the Mayavadis and so-called Shunyavadis, they tell God is everywhere. God is everywhere. Yes, He is everywhere, but He is personally in Golok Vrindavan, right? That they don't. They say God is Nirakar, Nirgun, everywhere, everywhere. Yes, He is there in Vishwarupa form. He is there everywhere. He is not fit to one material form or one material mode of material nature. He is not. He is beyond that. Yes, he is nirguna. In the sense, he is not bound by the gunas of this material world. He is nirakar because he is not limited to the form in this material world. He is unlimited, and at the same time, he has the spiritual akar, that the adhyatmic akar, that's the Shamasundara form. That them is. That's why Arjuna is asking here, so that all the impersonalists who are reading Bhagavad Gita and conclude that Vishwarupa is the greatest form, for them, Arjuna wants to convince that Vishwarupa is not the greatest form. Actually, Krishna is that 200 form is greatest. That's why Arjuna is asking this question, so that he can convince the impersonalist, so that he can tell impersonalist what Krishna's opinion is. And then after his questions, Krishna gives the opinion of Bhakti Yoga. How great is Bhakti Yoga? That he is going to elaborate. Because impersonalists, they don't know what is Bhakti Yoga. Because to do Bhakti Yoga, there should be Bhagavan. And they don't believe in Krishna. They say God does not have form. So there is no Bhakti in them. That's the main thing. That's why this chapter is called Bhakti Yoga. So that you understand the importance of the form of Krishna. Why we should worship the Krishna's form, two-handed form with the flute, right? That's just explained here. So Arjuna is asking, which is considered as more perfect? Those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested, right? Bhaktaswam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Either bhaktas or avyaktam. Avyaktam is the impersonalist or the bhaktas. He's asking two people here. Either Brahman or Krishna. As we discussed in the second chapter, Brahman is the effulgence coming out of Krishna. Now you think something outer cover of a body is very important, or the person is very important, right? The cloth is very important, or the person is important. Obviously, you want to meet the person, not the cloth of that person. No, a person may wear a cloth which is very effulgent, but you want to speak. If you want to have relation with the person, you can't have a relationship with this outer cloth. You should have relationship with that person. No, a relationship can be only bound when there is two persons coming, right? I am a person, you are a person, then we can have a good kind of friendship, or a mother and the son relation, right? There are so many relations. So only a devotee and the Lord can have a relation when the both people are persons, and both are persons, then only there can be a relationship, right? When a devotee is a person, so obviously you are a person. But how can you think God is not a person? If he has to reciprocate, then he should be a person. But then the difference is you are limited, he's unlimited. But impersonalists, they can't imagine, they can't even understand how Krishna is unlimited. So that's the fault they have. So now Arjuna is asking, what is the difference? Who is more important? So as I already told, why Arjuna is asking? Because he wants to convince the impersonalist that uh, he is not impersonal. You can't imagine Krishna's form. Actually, Krishna's form is written in the Shastras, and whatever form is written, can you see wherever in all Shastras, all Puranas you go, and can you see if somewhere, in Bhagavad Puran, Krishna is in Shama Sundara, Shama, that means a cloud, rain cloud form. And in other Puranas, in one Purana it is written Krishna is orange, another Purana Krishna is green. Ever written like that? No. Every Purana Krishna is written Shama Sundara. Right? Why? That means all Shastras, all Vedas, all Puranas are concluding that Krishna has a form and his color is Shama Sundara. He has a flute in his hand and he wears a peacock feather. Right? It is said, and all Shastras, they resemble one another and they tell, right? A person, you may have gone through so many universities, but you can't change the date of birth in every university. If the date of birth matches, a person's name may be same, but date of birth can't be different, no? Name multiple persons may have a same name, but multiple persons with the same name can't have a same birthday. If the birthdays of all the places wherever you have gone and it's resembling same birth dates, and then it is considered that this person is actually they can make sure that that's what investigations do, no? They collect one information from one where you were staying. They go to another home where you stayed for some months or some days, and they go and check if all the details given in this particular details are matching to that details. And when they confirm that, they go to the third person. They ask, do you know this person with these many details? If they tell, yes, I have seen this person and he's exactly like this, then you confirm. Three people have told the same feature, same details, same qualities of this person. That means that person is like that itself. You conclude, right? Investigation conclude like that. So all the Shastras are not telling Krishna is in different form. All Shastras are telling his same form with the peacock feather, with flute in his hand. So how can you tell that Lord is impersonal? He has a person, right? He is a person. So what is Krishna telling here? Maya veshamanoye maham nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetas te me yuktatama mataha. Maya veshamanoye mam. Krishna is telling my. Everywhere where this word my, mam, me, matha, the words ma which comes is Krishna. Why he's telling me? When Krishna is telling I am the controller, that is not false ego. That's true. That's the fact. Krishna is controller. If I am telling I am the controller, then it's false because I'm not controller. But Krishna is. That's what Krishna is telling, that I am in the personal form. See, both impersonalist and personalist, both want to get liberated. But Krishna says one who fixes his mind in Krishna's personal form, always engage in devotional service, worship me with great and transcendental faith, is considered to be the most perfect. Why? There is no chance of falling down. There's no chance of going back. Why? Once you see the personal feature of Krishna, you see ISKCON deities, you go to Mayapur or Vrindavan or our own temple, wherever you go, ISKCON temples, you can see beautiful form of Krishna, right? Don't you feel like whole day I'm sitting and seeing that form? Don't you feel that? Pujaris, why they are decorating so much to that deity? What is the necessary? It's just a piece of stone, right? But no, it's not. It's Krishna himself. once a disciple was taking a class and Prabhupada was sitting in the audience. That means he was just checking if if his disciple really understood or not. So the disciple was giving a lecture. So after he was giving lecture in personal, impersonal, and all the deity worship and everything. Deity worship in the sense Vigraha Puja. Okay. So he was giving all the details. So Prabhupada, he asked any questions. Anybody has any questions? So Prabhupada raised his hand and he was asking, uh, my dear disciple, can you please tell me in which part of Krishna's deity is Krishna residing? In which part of the deity is Krishna residing? Deity means this Vigraha, where Krishna is residing. Can anybody tell before Prabhupada answers? Which part of the deity is Krishna residing? This was question asked by Prabhupada to his disciple to check him. Which part? Yes, Rishi has heard this lecture or he heard this pastime, I guess. No, Rishi? Yes, yes, it's not a part. In our heart, Krishna is sitting in the heart. But then in the deity, Krishna itself is the deity. Prabhupada, everybody, like I asked all of you, Prabhupada asked all of his disciples, and everybody gave unique question at the lotus feet because everybody is attracted to lotus feet. Somebody said in the heart because in humans he is in the heart. So in the deities also he must be in the heart. Somebody told him lotus eyes. Somebody told, in nose. So many parts. But then Prabhupada is like, no, Krishna itself is the deity. Krishna itself is this spiritual form. It's not a human form and Krishna enters into it. It's actually, it's the whole deity itself is Krishna. So that's the difference. So that's what Krishna is telling. If you worship me in the personal form, in the deity form, then what happens? There is no chance of falling down. That's the most perfect. Okay. And can anybody tell what is the difference between idol worship and the deity worship? So-called people, they make a joke of religion. You are doing idol worship, idol worship, idol worship. But when Prabhupada always told it's a deity. What is deity? Why it is not called idol? Can anybody answer?
Mataji,
Why?
idol worships basically means to worship some image of made by your own, but deity worship means worshipping something according to the Shastras, according to the Vedic principles.
Yes, correct, Rishi. Uh, yes. See, when we do deities, it's not whimsically we are doing anything. It's written in Shastras. If you see deities properly in ISKCON temples or any temple, if you see the lotus feet of Krishna and Radharani, they make all the symbols also in the lotus feet. Even in the hands, some deities they are carved. Even in the hands, they have done all the symbols what Krishna also had when he was there. When he in Golok Vrindavan, what kind of hand he has with all the symbols, what kind of leg he has, the lotus feet, all the symbols, the lotus, the umbrella, and the fish, everything, whatever symbols you just type in Google, you will get all the symbols in the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So same thing they have carved in the lotus feet of the deities, and the color, the eyes, how it should be, the lotus bud. You see a lotus bud, how beautiful it looks, and when you keep it horizontal, it resembles Krishna's eyes. So it makes it like a lotus eyes, right? That's what. And idol is not authorized. See, Prabhupada gives an analogy here, a very nice analogy. You can keep it in your mind. That like a post box. Okay, in the purport he writes about this in this particular chapter. He writes, if you go, before there was post box, right? You have to write a letter and deliver it to the mailbox or post box. So I am crooked person. I don't want your letter to go to another person. Okay, suppose Sairaj is writing a letter to Rishi. I'm a crooked person. I don't want a letter to go to Sairaj. So what I do, I paint a similar kind of a post box, but it's not authorized. No postman comes and picks the post letters from there. So I just keep on that part, and Sairaj will go and put the letter into that box. Will that letter deliver to Rishi? No, it won't. Why? It is not authorized way. It's not authorized. If Sairaj really wants to post a letter to Rishi, then he has to go to a particular post box where the postman comes and takes it to the another person, right? So if I put whimsically to any box, what happens? The letter won't deliver to the receiver, right? I have to put to a particular authorized, like Indian Post, India Post, they have to authorize this particular box as a post box. Then only the postman will come and pick your letter and delivers to the receiver, right? Similarly, not every idol which you see, there are statues outside. Are they? Do they receive anything? No, no, it won't receive anything from you. If you cut the head, also doesn't matter. Will the original person, now there are so many political leader statues in every circle. If I cut the head, will the person die? No, only the statue will go. No, that's the thing. It is not connected to that person, right? And just the idol, it may be whimsically done. We don't know. But the deity, if you offer, that's what, when you offer prasad, will deity accept? It will accept. Why? It is authorized. That's what is important. Like post box, not every box is a post box, not every idol is the deity. So deity is a particular made for the worship of Krishna. It's like that Krishna's form, Krishna's deity, and Krishna's names are non-different. They are one and the same. That's why when we are not eligible to do deity worship, we have to chant the holy name. And when we are eligible to deity worship, then we have to include deity worship in our chant. That means both we have to do. So that's what is important. So deity worship is there, but it's like an authorized way to receive Krishna. He receives our devotional service. So that's why we do puja and all of that. Why? The devotee have the faith that if I do puja, if I give bhoga to Krishna, it is similar to the giving bhoga to Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. It's same. There's no difference. So that's what makes a deity worship and idol worship different. Okay. So now, later part, Krishna is going to tell, Krishna is going to tell how difficult it is to go through a, what you tell, impersonal form. Impersonal form is also not bad. It is there. It is given in Shastra. But then Krishna tells it's very difficult because you don't have the form of Krishna. You don't know. You're just meditating on the light of that of anything. You're just meditating. That's what the first question I asked somebody. They said meditation. I asked, on whom? On whom? There was no answer because everybody wants to meditate. But on whom? That's the question, right? But those who fully worship and the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses, all pervading, inconceivable, fixed and immovable. You can see this line, beyond the perception of senses. You can't see it, right? You can't actually see it. You have to meditate for so many years and then the perfection comes. So you can't perceive by your senses. But deities you can perceive by your senses. That's what deity makes. We offer tulsi to the lotus feet of Krishna and then we smell it. No? That's what the perseverance of the senses. We are using senses to please Krishna. When we decorate the deities and they look so beautiful, we are using our eyes to see Krishna, right? We can see Krishna in the form of a deity. When we eat, we can use our tongue in service of Krishna. When we speak, we can use the tongue in service of Krishna. When we smell the tulsi at the lotus feet, we can use our nose and the smell sense in Krishna. So that makes the difference. But impersonalists, they don't have these things. They all put, it's like in devotees, they don't want negative. but they take positive, and automatically what happens? Negativeness will go. Right? When you keep positive vibes inside you, negative vibes will go as it is. It will go out. But impersonalists are, they don't want negative vibes. They don't want to take positive also. So it becomes a real struggle for them to get out of the negative vibes, because every time, this is the word, dukhalayam ashashvatam, Maya will capture you again and again. So Krishna is saying it's not practical. You can't fix your mind on one thing. The impersonal conception of the absolute truth is controlling the various senses by equally disposing to everyone. Such person engaged in the welfare at last achieves. At last he achieves. It's very difficult, Krishna says. Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavabdir avapyate. Krishna says what? Gatir dukkam. It will give you great distress when you do impersonal meditation. For those whose mind are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advance in the troublesome. To make progress in this discipline is always difficult to who are embodied. Then Krishna says what? Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sannyasa matparaha ananyen naiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat parta mai aveshita chetasam. So for one who is worshipping me, gives up all his activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engages in the devotional service and always meditate upon me, and who have fixed his mind upon me, O son of Partha, for him I am the swift deliverer of the ocean of birth and death. You can see this beautiful painting here, right? Our condition is exactly like that. Impersonalists, what they want? They want to search themselves. They don't want the help of the personal feature of Krishna. Personal feature of Krishna means Krishna will definitely come and save you. But they don't want that. They want to get out. That's what they want. They don't want negative vibes. They want to get out of the negative vibes, but they don't want the positive vibes at the same time. Right? But devotees, they call the positive vibes, and automatically they will get out of the negative vibes. That's the difference between the devotee and impersonalist. Impersonalist, he himself want to cross this ocean, and it will take lots and lots of time. That's why Krishna says it's dukkam. It's very what you say, it's a very it's dukkam, it's sadness, fearfulness every time. But devotees, what is it? Bhavami, that means Mrityu Samsara Sagara, from the birth and death ocean, Samsara Sagara, he can be delivered just like this painting, right? Yes, the same thing again. So, Mayeva Manasa. So first, as I said, the steps in devotional service. Now Krishna is going to explain. After he explains that how important is Bhakti Yoga, now Krishna is going to explain about the steps of Bhakti Yoga, or the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga from the top to the bottom. The top level of Bhakti Yoga, and then the secondary, then the tertiary. In that way, Krishna is going to tell different types of Bhakti Yoga, how you can practice. So first he says, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all the intelligence in me. Thus you will live with me without any doubts. Like this Gopabalas, like the gopis, like Yashoda Maya, Nanda Baba, what did they do? They fixed their mind. They were doing so many activities, right? Yashoda Maya was taking butter. She was doing so much activity. Nanda Baba was going out with the cows, and all the other women's, elderly women's, all the gopis of other balas, they were cooking, they were doing so many activities, but they were always thinking about Krishna. And they were cooking, but then their mind was in Krishna's lotus feet. They were thinking, what is Krishna doing now He might have been playing with his Gopa friends. What kind of a game he's playing? Every day they are going that way. Although they are doing their duties, so-called duties. In spiritual world, there is no such duties. But then they were doing duties at the same time. Why they were doing all this duty? To please Krishna. Why Yashoda Maya was churning the buttermilk to give to Krishna? Because Krishna loves it. She knew. And then why they were thinking about Krishna? Manmana bhava madbhakto. Krishna says always the devotees are thinking about me. Right? That's Ananya Bhakti. That's Krishna's first definition. But are we at that stage? We are not. Our mind goes everywhere. Right? So Krishna is like, okay, if you are not meditating, you are fully not meditating upon me, you cannot, then at least follow what your the Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru says. That means, my dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. So Krishna is telling, if you are not able to fix your mind, then do what your elders or the senior devotees have told. Like Prabhupada, he told, chant Hare Krishna, the 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, and follow 4 regulatory principles. Read my books, right? Prabhupada gave all this instruction. If you follow this, then yesterday I was reading just, Prabhupada says, if you follow what Prabhupada has told, reading Prabhupada books, chanting, if you just chant and follow all the regulatory principles, whatever principles are given in the Shastras, then even in this life, even wherever you are living, you are liberated soul. Prabhupada says this. If you are following whatever I am telling, if you are doing all the sadhana bhakti, then what happens? Even in this life, you are liberated soul. So that's how. That means he doesn't have any other thought than following the instructions. So Krishna is like, if you're not openly, by yourself, you're not able to fix your mind, then listen to your senior devotees. What they are telling, do like that. What happens? You will attain. That means doing as per the Shastra style. Then if you are not doing regulative, I can't follow all these things. Yeah, it's so difficult for me. Morning, who will get up and who will chant so many rounds? I'll chant how much ever I can. I can't chant all these things. Then Krishna tells, okay, fine. Then just try to work for me. Just do work for me. That's enough. At least that much you can do, right? Work for me. You do all the work, right? There's Mayapur temple coming up. There is our own temple coming up, which is ISKCON Mangalore. In ISKCON Mangalore, for 20 years, we were in small temple. Now we are we are constructing a new temple by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So there, people are working day and night, right? They are working for Krishna, right? Even in Mayapur, TOVP is happening, big temple. They are working for Krishna. 24 hours they are working for Krishna. Krishna tells, at least you do that. Then I'm like, I don't have time for that also, Krishna. I can't work for you and all that. But I can give something apart from work. Whatever I got from my work, I can give that. So Krishna is like, okay, if however you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act, giving up all the results of your work and try to be self-situated. So Krishna is going from the level down to down so that he can meet your, your level. So Krishna is asking, giving up giving up all the results of your work. So why does he tell this? Because if you're not able to, because this is not actually in Bhakti Yoga, to be honest, this is after Bhakti Yoga. Like one is Ananya Bhakti, that's total devotional service. Then comes the sadhana bhakti. That means you're doing sadhana, you're doing all the regulative principles, you're chanting more rounds, and then you're getting Krishna's lotus feet. That's sadhana bhakti. Then karma yoga. That means by doing activities, not by giving up the results, but actually doing activities for Krishna. These 3 are in high level. Then Krishna is like, okay, you can't come to that level. Then I'll give you the 4th stage, which is like, you can do the other work, but then whatever your salary is, whatever the fruits of your work is, you give it to me, the results. So Krishna is like not actually telling about this is in Bhakti Yoga, but then he's giving you the option. At least you can do that way. So that when you do this work and you give the results to Krishna, slowly by slowly you get attracted to Krishna. In that way, you can come to Bhakti Yoga. And even in the last stage, Krishna says, if you cannot practice this, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. At least you start. There are people who are behind Sanskrit, not behind Bhagavad Gita, they are behind Sanskrit. They want to read all the Vedas. Okay, fine, read all the Vedas. It's not counted in Bhakti Yoga, but then it will help you in coming to Bhakti Yoga. It may not be in this life, it may be next life, next to next life, doesn't matter. But it will help you in coming to Bhakti Yoga. It is not Bhakti Yoga, it will help. So better than knowledge is to meditate. So from meditation, you can come to Bhakti Yoga. Ultimately, right? When you do meditation and you then come to realization that Krishna is in 400 form, then you start doing devotional service. So meditation. Then renouncing the fruits of action. Right? That's what we got to know in the fourth stage. Renouncing the fruits of action. When you renounce the fruits to Krishna, then what happens? Slowly by slowly, you started getting attracted to Krishna, and then you start Bhakti Yoga. So the first three are actually the Ananya Bhakti, the Sadhana Bhakti, and Karma Yoga, the fully doing devotional service. But then this is after that. So anybody knows who is Sanatana Goswami? Why are we using them in the Bhakti Yoga part here? Anybody knows? Have you heard about Sanatana Goswami? Who was the brother of Sanatana Goswami? Just now we read about the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Yes, anybody? Yes. So Madan Mohan, very good. Madan Mohan DP. Correct. And Rupa Goswami's brother. What were the initial names? Anybody knows? Initial names before coming to Krishna consciousness. They were working under, actually Sanatana Goswami, they're all personal associate of Krishna. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, who is Krishna himself, they also came here. They were all in Golok Vrindavan. But then they came here to assist. Yes, to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from birth, they were not, associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were acting, they were born in Saraswat family, Saraswat Brahman family, but then they were so great scholars in Sanskrit. Even they knew the Arab language. That time the Muslims invaders were there, so they knew all this language, and in that way they were highly scholared people. And that's why the Hussein Shah, that time's king, the Mughal king, he thought of getting them as their ministers, because that time they were the ministers means they should be highly scholared. So they were given the title Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They are two brothers. So they were given a title. Yes, Rishi has written Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik. They were given the title. But then, how much they had treasure with them, the personal treasure. It was said in Nectar of Devotion that they had treasure in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One big ship, big boat you take, and in that you fill that with gold coin, like a mountain inside a boat. That much gold coins they had, big gold coins. That much personal income they had. But then they were like the karodpatis. Today's karodpatis are there, no? They are just minting paper notes, but they were minting like coins, gold coins, real gold coins. So they were that rich. But their desire was not that. When they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they got the real treasure. That is Krishna consciousness. They left everything. And listening to this, and Sanatan Goswami, and they had so much treasure that they thought of dividing the treasure. So they gave 50% to all the Vaishnavas because they are doing the service for Krishna, right? Like Krishna says, give the phala, give the results to the, for Krishna. How can you give? You can't personally go and give in the hands of Krishna. Whom you should give the money or whatever the results are, you should give to the devotees who are serving Krishna. So this one, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they gave the 50% of their income to the devotees, the Vaishnavas, so that they can happily serve Krishna. And then remaining 50% they divided into 25 and 25. 25% they gave to the family because they also deserve something, no? And then 25% they kept for their emergency, for writing books and all of that. So they kept for their emergency. So in that way, they after that they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent them to Vrindavan. So they were not staying in a big opulent place. They were staying under the trees of Vrindavan, and they were staying like one day under one tree, second day under another tree. They were not using the same tree to stay. They were changing constantly. So they had no such kutir. They didn't even have a kutir or a hut. They were staying under a tree. Think, such a great rich person. They left everything for Krishna. They left everything, and they were not crying, oh Krishna, everything went from me. They were not crying. They were happy, actually. They were so happy in Krishna consciousness. That's the mercy of Krishna. Nobody can be, nobody can force Krishna to make them happy. It's Krishna's will that makes a devotee feel they are fortunate, right? So Sanatan Goswami was such a great devotee, and even Rupa Goswami, they're all great devotees of Lord. So here, one who is not envious. So in the six Goswami, Shad Goswami Astakam, it is written that Dhira Adhira Janapriyo. That means the Goswamis were not just for devotees. Only I'll speak only to devotees. They were not like that. They were giving even for a materialistic person when he comes with so much materialistic queries. Goswamis used to sit and solve the materialistic difficulties also. But when devotees used to come, they used to also solve the spiritual difficulties. So they were doing both dhira and adhira. Dhira means the devotee, and adhira means a materialistic person. They were dear to both a materialistic person also and a devotee also. Why? They were seeing everybody in connection to Krishna. A materialistic person, he may have materialistic desire, but when a devotee, he tries to solve his problems, he gets some faith in the devotee, and in that faith he can get some faith about Krishna as well. So in that way they were connecting everybody to Krishna. So it is said, one who is not envious. So Goswamis are not envious of anybody. So then, but is a kind friend of to all living entities, right? I said they were giving love for both the devotees and the materialistic person, both dhira adhira janapriya. And then who does not think himself as a proprietor and is free from the false ego. False ego means I am the doer. The doership comes to us. When that comes, that's actually the false ego. Who is equal to both the happiness and distress, who is tolerant and always satisfied, self-controlled and engaged in the devotional service, which is determined, his mind and intelligence fixed upon me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Priya, Krishna in the 12th chapter, most of the words he ends with the Priya. That means he's very dear, very dear. Don't you feel like I can also become very dear to Krishna? Right? How can we become? Start chanting. First step is to start chanting. Don't jump to the highest level. First starts with the baby steps. So start by chanting. Slowly by slowly, Krishna will give you intelligence. Anybody knows who is Chitraketu Maharaj here? In next life, what he became? Chitraketu Maharaj, anybody knows? What happened in his life? Anybody? By seeing the picture, you can see. Who is that sitting both? The Shiva and Parvati, right? As I said, Lord Shiva always want to speak about Bhagavatam. So every day there will be Bhagavatam happening. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So every day there will be Bhagavatam going in the Kailash. Putrada Ekadashi? No, I guess. It's in Bhagavatam it comes. And yeah, so yeah, when in Kailas and all the sages, you can see this Narad Muni here and all the sages around, they sit and hear Lord Shiva speaking about Lord Krishna. So they like to hear Bhagavatam from Krishna, Bhagavatam from Lord Shiva. And because he's the Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho, he is always a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. So everybody likes to hear. So what happened? The Chitraketu Maharaj, he was a great devotee of the Lord. So once what happened, Lord Shiva, because his wife Parvati, she's very dear to Lord Shiva, and Maya attracts us. Maya cannot attract Shiva. So he is already a renounced. Then because she's a wife, he made her sit in his lap. And have you ever seen a devotee making his wife sitting on his lap and take a class? No, right? Never. So Chitraketu Maharaj, out of his humor, and even Lord Shiva didn't take the offense. He just was coming and he thought of visiting Kailas and then going to his kingdom. So he was coming in an aeroplane and he saw that Mother Parvati is sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva. So he made a small kind of a humor that see who the Lord Shiva, he is so renunciate that he is making his wife sit in his lap and take Bhagavatam class. So he was just making humor. Lord Shiva didn't bother. He was like, okay, anyways, it was just a joke. But Mother Parvati, she got furious. When she got furious, she asked Chitraketu, who gave you the permission to judge Lord Shiva? Who gave you the permission to do that? Because now you made an offense to me, so you have to become a asura. So because she cursed, Chitraketu Maharaj immediately came and fell at his feet. And he told, my dear mother, he addresses Parvati as his mother because she gives the material body to all of us, right? She's mother. So he tells, my dear mother, he was not lamenting there. One thing to notice, when we get sharp or when in serials you see, right, when somebody gets a curse, he starts lamenting, oh no, I got cursed, please don't do that. But Chitraketu Maharaj didn't tell that. What he told, wherever it is Mother Parvati, I'm ready to go. Why? I know I will never forget. Even in Asura, even as an Asura, I won't forget Krishna. So he had that confidence, and he'll just put bowed at her lotus feet, and he went. Then Lord Shiva tells, "This is a devotee. Whether you put him into the hell or in the heaven or in the Goloka, he does not matter. He always thinks about Krishna." So that's a great quality. And next, he became Vrittasur. And in Bhagavatam, you can see the beautiful prayers of Vrittasur gives to Lord Krishna before he dies by Indra. There is a long story that. So that even in the Asura Yoni, Asura as a born Asura, he started praying to Lord Vishnu while he was going to end his life. He was like praying, and prayers of Vrittasur is there. You can locate in Google. So beautiful prayers are there. So Lord Shiva says, wherever you put, it is not disturbed. See, He for whom no one is put into difficulty, who is not disturbed by the anxiety, steady happiness and distress, is very dear to me. So Krishna says, such a person is very dear to me, right? And who is this personality? Anybody knows? He was a blind devotee. That means his material eyes were blind. Anybody knows this? Who is this person? Yes, Bilva Mangla Thakur, right? Yes, Bilva Mangla Thakur. The speciality of Bilva Mangla Thakur, he was attracted to a prostitute. And because he was attracted to prostitute, he and that day it was so flood. Anybody knows about the story? Can tell the Bilva Mangla Thakur story? How great he was.
Yes, Mataji, the story goes like that. After leaving the prostitute while he was going for some place, he saw again one householder's wife. So again, he got attracted to that wife, but at the next moment, his thought came that what he's doing with him. So he went to the householder's home and asked a pin for the householder's wife's from here, and just pierced it through his eyes and got blind. And then singing the glories of Krishna went to Vrindavan.
Yes, yes, the half you told. Before that was like he had a prostitute. He was in love with the prostitute. But the thing is, um, and he was neglecting all of the duties. So that day it was so flood, and his father was, his father was dead, and he had to do what you tell the Sharda ceremony of a father, right? But he left that, and he was like, "It's already time. I have to go to the prostitute." And he left all the Shardas, and somehow he did, and he went. And there was so much big flood. Everything was just collapsing. But his intention was to meet that prostitute. So much of lust was there, and then uh, he tried to cross the river. But then after that, he got a wood, a block of wood, and he climbed in on it, and then he passed the stream, and then he went to the prostitute homes. But then he did not, because the prostitute closed her, the ground floor, and she was on the first floor. He wanted to go there. Then he got the rope, and he went inside that prostitute's home. And then prostitute was shocked to see Bilva Mangala, like, you came here inside my home. How? No, the thread was there. The thread, I crossed the stream, and then I got a wood block. Then I came here. Then she was like, wood block? And she saw outside. She could see the stream. She was like, it's not a wood block. You are blind or what? It's a dead body. You climbed on the dead body and crossed the stream. Then he was like, oh yeah, it's dead body. Then he was like, then she asked, how did you climb this? Then he was like, there was a rope. No, I climbed that rope and then I came. Rope? She's like, I don't have any rope outside my corridor. Then she saw it was a dead snake. It was a dead snake which was lying on her courtyard, and picking that he climbed. So lust was covering his eyes so much, and then she was so, she was a devotee of Krishna. She was like, somehow I came to this the profession, but then I'm still a devotee of Krishna. So if you had that much desire to see Krishna, I think so Krishna would have already come in front of you. She told this word. Krishna would have already come in front of you if you had the same desire to see him. Then Bilva Mangla Thakur got that in his head. He was like, what am I doing here with this prostitute? What she told was actually correct. I should have gone. I should have gone to Krishna, not to this material form of a woman. He's like, if this material form of a woman itself is so attractive, how beautiful form Krishna would have, how attractive he would have. He started thinking. And then he wanted to go to Vrindavan. But on the way, as Rishi Prabhu told, he again got too attracted to a woman, household woman. But then he again dragged his mind. He was like, no, till I have eyes, I will see a beautiful form in this material world. So what did he do? He went to that woman, asked for her hairpin, and pricked his own eyes and took his own eyes. And he was like, blind. I only want to see Krishna in my life and not any other form. And he went directly to Vrindavan. there, when he was doing so much in devotion to Krishna, so much nice, actually Krishna used to personally come and hear Bilvamangala Thakur singing it. And how did Bilvamangala Thakur guess he was coming? By his ankle bells. Krishna's ankle bells were ringing, and he came to know, oh Krishna, you came here, and he was singing so sweetly. And it is said that before, there's Darshanarti, what happens? The Lord's dresses, they change, and new dresses they put. Before that, Bilva Mangla Thakur used to stand in front of the closed curtain, and he used to sing. And in that song, he used to describe which color dress Krishna has wore, which ornaments Krishna has wore. And people used to think why he's telling. When curtains were opening, actually Krishna was in that color dress. Actually, Krishna was using that same ornament which he described in the song. So he had the spiritual eyes to see. So Krishna is like such a dear devotee he is. So what is Krishna saying? A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary cause of activity, who is pure, expert, without care, free from all pains, who does not strive for the same results, is very dear to me. And obviously, who is this devotee here? Small devotee. Who is it?
Prahalad.
Yes, it's Prahlad Maharaj, right? So much things happen in Prahlad Maharaj's life, right? His own father wants to kill him every day. Was it disturbed? Was he like, Krishna, please save me, please save me? Was he crying like that? No, he was not crying. Nowhere in Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Prahlad Maharaj was crying out of fear when he saw a big elephant want to crush him. He's sitting so peacefully. That means he had the faith. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will protect me. He had that faith. So Krishna is like one who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desire, who is renounced both auspicious and inauspicious thing, is very dear to me. So Krishna is giving big examples here. Who is this personality here? Anybody knows? All in Bhakti Yoga, it's all about the devotees we are going to discuss. Anybody knows what is happening? Who is the sage? Who is this person who looks like king? Nobody knows? It's Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj. He is a great devotee of the Lord. And this gives you the perfect example between the impersonalist and the personalist. Durvasa Muni, although he was a personalist, he was in Vishnu's form, he used to worship, but then he was just like a yogi. Yogis, they have so many siddhis. They can create, they can destroy, and so many things. Black magic, all kinds of magics they can do. So he was just a yogi. And Ambarish Maharaj, although he was a great king, at the same time, he was a great devotee. So he was a great devotee, and he used to do all the services only for Krishna's purpose. So that was the thing. And Durvasa Muni, he came on the Ekadashi day and wanted to break the fast. Next day, there's a breaking fast. So both of them kept the Nirjala Upvas, and next day it was Parayana time. And it is said that if you don't break the fast during that Parayana time, then your Ekadashi won't be considered good. So as a king, he had the responsibility of the whole citizenship, right? If king takes Ekadashi, then it is said the whole citizens will get the benefit. So he wanted to break the Ekadashi on the correct Paran time. But Durvasa Muni wanted to check him, so he went for a bath. So that, and then he delayed, waited for Parana time to go out, so that he won't keep his Ekadashi. He wanted to test Amrish Maharaj. But then the head pujari of Amrish Maharaj told, why don't you drink water? See, Nirjala Ekadashi means you are not drinking even water. So you don't eat grain so that you won't disrespect Durvasa Muni, but you can drink water so that you can keep that means you can break the fast on the correct time, so that all the citizens and everybody will get benefited. So then he drank water. And Durvasa Muni is yogi. He comes to know easily, the future and everything. Because yogis have minute, magic and everything. So he came to know. And he came to the spot. And he was like, you made the aparat to me. You made aparat to Brahmana. what king are you? You're materialistic. You have so many wives. And he started criticizing Ambarish Maharaj. And then he left, he took his one hair and put it on the ground. And there was a Dhanava. Dhanava means one who destroys everything. He came out and he wanted to kill Ambarish Maharaj. At the same time, what happened? Sudarshan came running there and he killed the Dhanava. And now Sudarshan got angry on Durvasa Muni and he started running behind Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni, out of fear, because once Sudarshana comes in behind a non-devotee, then he won't, he really won't care you. He'll only stop killing you. So Durvasa Muni ran to Brahma. Brahma is like, it's not my weapon, and you had made, offense to a devotee. I can't help you. Go to Vishnu. So while going to Vishnu, he crossed the Kailas, and Kailas Lord Shiva was there. Lord Shiva was like, how can I help you? It's Vishnu's weapon, no? And I'm a devotee. I should support a devotee, so I can't do this. So then ultimately he went to Vishnu, to Vaikunta. He was like, Lord Vishnu, please save me. Please save me. Your Sudarshan is behind me. Lord Vishnu is like, how can I save you? Sudarshan didn't ask permission before he left. He was actually wanted to protect. When I want to protect a devotee, first my protection goes, then I come. That means first Krishna's protection comes. That's how Krishna saves. Krishna will come later. Krishna's mercy comes first. So he was like, Sudarshan went himself, so I can't do. And first of all, you made an offense to the devotee. If you make an offense to devotee, then you have to ask forgiveness from devotee. So go back to Ambarish Maharaj and ask his forgiveness. So he went back to Ambarish Maharaj and he fall at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Till then, 1 year passed on the earth. Till then, Ambarish Maharaj didn't even have one grain. He was like, I made an offense to Durvasa Muni. I made an offense. Ambarish Maharaj didn't do any offense, but he was thinking, such a humble soul he was. He was thinking, I made offense. Then Durvasa Muni fall at his feet and Ambarish Maharaj just stopped the Sudarshan. He told, please, you can leave now. So then Sudarshan left. So that was the thing, that a devotee is not behind the honor or dishonor. Like Durvasa Muni dishonored Ambarish Maharaj. He was a great king. Dishonored. If somebody dishonors Prime Minister of India, won't he get angry? Or his own ministers, won't they get angry? They'll get, right? Nowadays, the tweet and they start bluffing each other. But then Ambarish Maharaj, he was not in that platform of dishonor or honor, happiness or distress. He was like, I just want to serve the Lord. That was only my intention. So that's how Ambarish Maharaj is. Then he who follows the imperishable path of devotional service, who completely engages himself in faith making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. So you can see the Sudama here. He never went for asking anything. Actually, Krishna already knew his mind, right? Krishna is in the heart of everybody. So he knew already. But Sudama was so humble that he did not want to actually ask anything from Krishna. Anyabhilashita Shunya. He did not want to ask anything to Krishna. But Krishna knew. Krishna wanted to give. Even after getting the big opulent home, they both were not staying in that home. They were making Krishna's, Vigraha to stay, and they were doing worship there. But they were staying like a small kutia, even after getting all the opulence from Krishna. They didn't bother about that. So here it is said like that. And when he saw Sudama, he washed the legs of Sudama with his own tears. So Krishna says that if you become my devotee, why? Sudama was always thinking about Krishna. That's the main thing. We know only the external part. He was, poor and this. But Krishna knows. He was 24 hours meditating on the friendship that he had with Krishna. He was 24 hours meditating, and Krishna was always there in his heart. So that makes the difference. So that was the the quality of Sudama. Always 24 hours he was thinking. So these are the the sections we discussed in today's chapter. Okay. So as I said, we can give something to Krishna. If you're not able to work, if you're not able to think whole day about Krishna, then at least you can give something to Krishna on behalf. As I said, we can't directly go and give in hands of Krishna, right? See, if this is my fruitive activity, this is my fruitive results, please take it. We can't give, but we can give it to the devotees who are doing work for Krishna, right? That's what. Okay, these are the previous slides. Okay, I'll show you. I'll send you the videos of our new temple. Anybody has already seen the video of a new temple, upcoming temple? No. It's in Kulai. If you come to Mangalore, not Bangalore, Mangalore, then you can actually see the place where the temple is getting constructed. And sorry, it went to some other thing. Okay, I'm sharing you the screen now. I don't know if you can see that or not. There is a place where the temple is getting constructed, and almost the guest house is yet to be done, and then